Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Whew. How are you doing today? You know, you know how we believe over here. We don't grow alone. So as you're grabbing that cup of coffee, getting in the car, 7:30 in the morning, maybe you've already arrived. Share the broadcast. Invite a business bestie to join you this morning because this morning's topic, I'm actually going live over on Instagram, so excuse me. A little as I set up over there is a little different. So I'm going to give you a moment to invite your friends, which is why I changed the topic to contracting and business, because that's what we're talking about this morning. I'm your host, Luciana Turner, your government contracting specialist. I have 20 plus years experience in the government contracting arena. I've worked for two of the top DoD government contractors, and I've been in business for oh wow. I started my company, this company, my consulting business, I started in 2016. My government contracting business, I started in 2014. I didn't really realize I'd been in business so long. Wow. It's amazing when you stop and count the time. But anyway. But I wanted to talk to you this morning about proposal writing. We're 1 month in we're about to end the first month of Q1 of the government fiscal year. And we're in the fourth quarter of the calendar year. And we're at that stage where we're deciding where we're needing consulting biz work or support, and we're outsourcing. Excuse me. I'm trying to wrap my head around this concept because I'm changing concepts. So walk with me a little bit. And what I find often is we're seeking consultancy, we're seeking coaching, but we're not asking the right questions. And I actually did a podcast episode on asking the right questions. And I think I'm going to deep dive a little with a revisit to that topic. But we're not asking the right questions. What we do is we approach a consultant we believe have their right skills, and we say, we want to do X, Y, Z, and how can you help me? So they respond how they can help you. Well, what is your track record? And I'm not saying track record isn't important. Track record is often important. And then we want to know about their testimonial. And then we get into this thing where we talk about, in nonprofit world and whatever, we talk about what have they done for other clients. And that's often important. However, sometimes we're asking the wrong question. Now, walk with me a little bit. Because the question you ask gives greater clarity for the consultant if they're even offered the service in the way you need it. A lot of times we want to say the consultant didn't serve you. And sometimes the problem is you didn't ask the right question. And the consultant interpreted the work based upon the questions you asked. Now, maybe the consultant should have asked better clarifying questions. And as a consultant, they should have. But sometimes it's up to you to ensure you're asking the right question. So if you're looking for somebody to write your grant in a nonprofit world and you're reaching out to a consultant, you should say, I'm looking for somebody to write a grant. Is that the type of service you provide? Versus saying, how can you support my whatever agency? You see the difference? One question is straight to the point. It's targeted. It's direct. It's distinct. Because the consultant could provide grant review services. They could provide grant readiness services. Now, the consultant, had they been in business long enough, could go back and forth and flush out your need a lot better. But sometimes we end up in this back and forth, and then there's this need to blame the consultant, and then there's the need to, and there's a lapse of time. When what really happens is the clarifying question is, I have this need. I need to know if you can solve it. Or I have this problem. I need to know if you're my solution. Sometimes we're just not asking the right question. And I just wanted to start off with that moment. When you're seeking a consultant, ask the right questions. And then sometimes you just don't know what you need. Be honest about that as well. I'm looking to enter or engage in this industry, and I am not quite certain of what I'll need. Be willing to invest in whatever session they offer which deep dives in that. Some consultants will do a deep dive for free and spend 30, 45 minutes on a call, a clarifying call for free. Some consultants charge for that. Be willing to make that initial investment. It's a way for you to learn, and it's a way for you to learn if that consultant is for you. It's the investment and the return on the investment is priceless. A $200, $250 investment to determine what you don't want is just as valuable as it is to determine what you do want. I'm going to say that again. A $250 investment to learn what you don't want is just as valuable as an investment in learning what you do want. Often we measure the return on investment as in I invest X amount of money and I need to make X amount of money. And a lot of times the return on investment is wisdom that we can apply. Learning that this is the road you're not supposed to take is wisdom. And it's a significant return on investment. It keeps you from stumbling down a road you didn't need to stumble down. And it also keeps you from wasting valuable time. And as we know in business, time is money. I would say that again. As we know in business, time is money. So if you learned nothing else, you learn not to invest time in an endeavor that will not bear fruit. If you learned nothing else. So every investment, whether it was in what you intended or not, always bears fruit. Now, whether or not you want to eat the fruit, that's another question. Now, for those of you who are joining the room, please say hello. Drop a message in the comment. For those of you who are catching this by the replay, #replay. And let me know your thoughts on what I'm saying. Drop a comment. I love the engagement. I love the back and forth. Do you agree with my assessment? Let me know. So I'm going to end it this morning with this thought. Building a successful, scalable business, you will have to hire consultants. You will have to hire coaches. You can't do it alone. Asking the right questions, asking clarifying questions, getting on those coaching, those clarifying calls. And I understand not wanting to do it. I don't always want to do the discovery calls. I don't always want to fill out the forms. I understand. But it's part of the vetting process. It's part of your vetting process. It's a part of their vetting process. It's a part of doing business. And if you're not ready to do business on that level, then that says what level of business you're at, and it determines your income level. So I'm going to leave you with that this morning. And I'm going to invite you back tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. for another installment of, contracting and business. I'm Luciana Turner, your host. You can watch the replay at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all iterations of this broadcast are located and housed on our YouTube channel, LT&A Consulting Group. Have an amazing, amazing day. And remember, a stressed mind cannot create. Take some time throughout the day for yourself. Take a walk, read a book, but take a moment to de-stress your mind. If you're working on a problem, the solution will come. If you're trying to come up with a new product or service, if you walk away from it, it'll come. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good one.